flirt with the acronyms because I'm going to write them down.
You steal my stuff.
I love it.
Hi, I'm Norma Jean. I'm a recovered alcoholic. I like to stand. I hope you guys don't mind. I'm a stander. You tell me if I don't stand for something, I'll fall for anything. Anyway, but what can I say? I'm just grateful to be here. Wow, I come down yesterday and then was asked to speak, and I said, wow, this is just great. Wow. But what can I say? I said to my husband, I said, it's been 25 years since I had my last drink. I said, I've been a good girl, a real good girl. I said, what is it that you appreciate the most about me in these 25 years? I said, is it my natural beauty?
I love you.
Is it my vivacious personality? Or is it my ravishing body? He said, what I appreciate the most about you is your unlimited imagination. So, anyway, yeah, what can I say, you guys, And we've been in a motor coach now since December 1st, all the way from the islands of Hawaii. And, and we leave our motor coach on a military base in San Diego, on a naval base for storage. And what can I say? We just travel the nation in this motor coach, and we carry the message that this program, it works. And we've been doing this now for 22 years in a motor coach. 22 years. It's a long time. And so anyway, but this is going to be a journey. This trip here is going to be a real journey. We decided to come to the Keys, and here I get to speak. Here I get to speak in the Keys, and we plan on going all the way up to Maine. Okay, and these are our plans. And anyway, so I don't want to get too far into that story, but I just love life. I'm living life like I'm dying. I have more time behind me than I have in front. I've been living on the edge of life a long time. I was born in Daytona Beach, and 2 months later my parents moved to Connecticut. And for 23 years, that's where I lived. And then I was just tired of my dad and mom preaching, always preaching and teaching at me. So I picked up the map of the United States. I said, well, now where's the farthest point from Connecticut? And so I drove my car across America. I did. With 2 girls I graduated with from high school. But they returned to Connecticut, and I stayed. Even though I just never liked California. Day one, I just never, I called my mom up. I said, I think I made a mistake. I said, but the only reason why I'm not going to return to Connecticut because you guys are expecting me to return on that midnight train with that brown paper bag in my hand. That's what y'all expecting me to do, I said, but I'm going to stay because y'all expecting me to come back. And so anyway, for 31 years I lived in California, and now it's 10 years in Hawaii. But I didn't become I became alcoholic in California at 32. Somebody said, girl, you was an old fool. I said, don't call me old. I said, old is when your best friend compliments you on your alligator shoes when you're only barefooted. That's old.
I'm feeling that one. I'm taking that one.
Old is when your false teeth fall out and your head caves in. That's old. I said, don't call me old. And I said, don't call me old. Lumps and bumps, holes and moles, hemorrhoid, keloid, thyroid, paranoid, schizoid. That's old. Anyway, but I picked up at 32, and I picked up just before we got married. He didn't know when he had married, and I wasn't gonna tell him. No, I wasn't gonna tell him. I wanted that ring on my finger. I wasn't gonna tell him. And so he didn't realize I had married him for better. He married me for worse. But it was only 7 years. That's all it was. It was only 7 years. Thank God it was only 7 years. But it was 7 years of chronic drinking and using. I crossed over that line like that. That line of addiction, affliction, and conviction of the body and the soul and the spirit. Oh, it's like when I picked up that night, I'll never forget, I had alcohol and cocaine that night. And something stepped inside me. It's just like something it shifted. And I knew then, I said, oh, whatever it is, it's not going to be in my best interest. I knew that night my life was going to change forever. So, insanity demanded way more than what I was willing to pay. I paid this high price for some low-down living right there in my kitchen. You know, I never been in trouble before with the law. I'm still trying to figure that one out. I never had a UI, what is it called? IUD? DUI. Oh, DUI. Oh, DUI. Excuse me.
I love her.
I only got one kid. But anyway, I just couldn't believe that I actually, oh my God, I couldn't believe what I did to me. You know, I could not believe I allowed a 12-year friendship. I allowed her to pick up. You know, I allowed her to talk me into picking up drinking and using it. I just couldn't believe it. I could not believe. I told her straight up. I said, "You can't be my friend. There's no way in the world you could be my friend." Because I knew my life had changed, like that. And then the same night, I called him up and told him, I said, I can't come home tonight. He said, well, why not? I said, because I have a flat tire, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. And so I went on down that pathway of insanity, and he loved me. That's one thing about, I know what unconditional love is all about. Unconditional love is creation raised at its highest level of consciousness. He loved me when he did not have to love me. He was kind to me when he did not have to be kind to me. He tolerated me when he did not have to tolerate me. And he forgave me when he did not have to forgive me. I know what unconditional love's all about. So, and the house went into foreclosure 5 times. 5 times, you guys. You drank the smoke like I did, you know, I tell you, your house would have went into foreclosure too. And he would work like a slave just to get it out. You know, he'd go, he'd work double time, you know. But anyway, I'm not here to talk about what it was like, 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 what it was like. I don't want to make a newcomer thirsty. But yeah, I'm here to talk about what it's been like. And but I had to tap on that, you know, tap on the insanity, you know, my disease. And as a result, going to I walked in 3 treatment doors, and I just wasn't ready until that 3rd treatment. That's when I knew I was down for the count. I was looking at a TKO. I was up against the ropes of life. My life had fallen into the abyss of hopelessness, uselessness, worthlessness, helplessness, and haplessness. And my existence was based on nothing but regret, remorse, ruin, and riotous living. I was snake bit by the disease of alcoholism and drug addiction. And that venom, it poisoned my body and my soul and my spirit. And so when I got to that last treatment center, en route to this $30,000 treatment center, when I got there, or just before I got there, he had told me, he said, you're going to have to go to the last treatment, and I hope that you get it together this time. He said, because if you don't get it together this time, I cannot let you take me all the way down to. He said, you're going to have to make a decision about what you're going to do. So he told me to go in the room and get my bag together. So I went into my bedroom and I PMS, I packed my stuff. What can I say, ladies and gents? And so en route to the treatment center, I told him to pull over and let me go over here so I can get me one more. Just one more before I go to treatment. Now he just laid out the cards. He said the house is in foreclosure 5 times now, and he said I'm not gonna let you take me all the way down. And now here I'm telling him, pull over. just one more, just one more. Somebody, I'm relating here. So, but I couldn't help it. I had lost the power of choice. I believe that when you lose the power of choice, you've lost everything. There's nothing on the table. And that's when I lost the power of choice to say no. But anyway, guess what? I you know, he didn't fuss or cuss. He let me go in and I got my one more, my last. And then 20 minutes later, I was in treatment. And that was October 13th, 1989. And that's when I you know, they wanted to give me some pills values and all, they wanted to just, and I looked at the pills, I looked at them, I looked at the pills, I looked at the doc. I said, I said, I come here to get off value. I come here to get off cocaine and alcohol. And here you trying to give me some value. I said, I don't think so. And they start writing me up. Right then and they start, she just got here, ain't no more troublemaker. She get troublemaker. And guess what they did? They gave me a seat. They gave me a room all the way to the back of the bus. Yes, they did. A room by myself. And that was the best thing that ever could have happened to me. That was the best thing. Because I didn't have another roommate there. And I'd be the one who get talked in to walk out or sneak out of treatment to go, you know, get some alcohol and drugs and come back. Anyway, but this time was different. So I knew that my scorecards had read 0, 0, 0, 0 straight across the board. So this time I went in that room and I sat down on that $30,000 treatment bed. And I threw up my hands. I said, thank God, I can't do this. I was 90 pounds, I'm looking like a nightmare on Elm Street. And you know, I just threw it up. I just threw up my hands. I said, God, you know something? You know, I'm gonna put the ball in your park and you make a decision. Yeah. I said, in other words, you're gonna have to do something. You're gonna have to do something with me. Either you heal me or you kill me. I'm tired of living like this. It was only 7 years, but I felt so disgraceful, shame-based, you know, humiliated, and I was embarrassed. Somebody said, how can an alcoholic be embarrassed? I said, I was embarrassed. You know, I came in 4th place, Miss Connecticut. You know, I was embarrassed about my life because I was somewhat of somebody that was just always a mover and a shaker before I picked up and started drinking and using. And when I threw up my hands that night, something happened. I had a spiritual experience. In other words, God put his super on top of my natural. And some new energy, it generated. Something generated. And just like that first night when I picked up the alcohol and drugs, something shifted, something came and dropped and came inside me. Well, guess what? This time I got a new shift. And I knew then the power of God. I knew then. I had a spiritual experience. And it was so profound. And I knew then, that night, that I would never, ever drink again. And it was like the spirit of the universe said, checkmate. She's mine. And so the next morning when I walked out of that room, there was doctors and you know, psychiatrists and psychologists. It was like I was the only one in treatment. It's just like no one else mattered. It was just me. And, you know, because the fact is, they said in the big book here, they said that a real doctor would know. Would know if that patient was ready. Or, you know, that patient had got the position itself. And I was that patient. And so they would let me out. Before my time, they was letting me out. let me go out, to see if I, go home. Once you go home. But they were expecting me to come back dirty. So I come back, and then they said, okay, Norma Jean, go and pee in this cup and come back. So I said, are you testing me? They said, yes, we are. And so I come back with a cup. Like I said, that party is over. They said, And so then they let me out again. And I come back again 2 hours late. And they just knew then, she came back 2 hours late. We just know, okay. I come back, like I told you, excuse me, but that party is over. It pissed me off. Tested me. I told you the party was over. But they, naturally, I now understand why. But so I tell you, so I checked out that treatment center, and and guess what? And they were just so proud of me too. They told me that I didn't have to pay my bill. It's the only thing you have to do is stay sober forever, and go to your meetings, and the solution, he said, is in the program, and the fellowship, go to the fellowship, and the solution's in the book. So I walked in my first AA meeting with a big book in one hand and a marker in the other. I was ready to get busy living. And I raised my hand. I said, I ain't never gonna drink again. And he told me to shut up and sit down and listen. And I'm holding on to my book. I said, you ain't telling me to shut up, are you? They said, yeah, we telling you to shut up. I said, later for you. And so I walk out, I go to another meeting, a church AA meeting. I said, they'll treat me better. They ain't gonna just tell me to shut up. Who they think they're talking to? I go raise my hand, and they go to church AA meeting, and they sitting up there all looking like saints that really ain't, sitting up there. I said, yeah, I ain't gonna never drink again. They told me to shut up, sit down. Oh no, they ain't telling me again. What's up with this? Because I had my spiritual experience, and I had 5, 6 steps in my heart. Hello. Not in my mind, but I had it in my heart. They ain't gonna tell me to shut up and sit down and listen. And the big book says sometimes quickly. Okay? I always say, if you ever want to hide $100 from an alcoholic, just stick it in the big book.
Amen.
The big book is the Bible in drag.
Yeah.
You like that one?
I love it.
What the big book did for me with the telephone booth did for Clark Kent.
There you go.
I tell you, gave me power over that mental state. And you know something, that screaming demon has never returned. And so anyway, I just start going through the book and telling me to shut up. And I go back to those meetings, and I said, I went through this book last night. They forced me into the book. And so I said, I went through, I could not find not one page in there telling newcomers to shut up and sit down and listen. And I said, no, you shut up. So anyway, I was one of those newcomers, boy, I ran a lot of people up and out the rooms, because I just couldn't understand why. I'm living the steps to the best of my ability. I'm becoming a wife. I'm becoming a mother. I'm doing the best I can to stay in the rooms. So anyway, I'm so grateful. And then I was getting kind of, I said, Lord, I need to do more than just AA. The first week when I came to the rooms, I realized that, look at here. The book is saying this program is for anybody, everybody that's willing to grow along spiritual lines. This program, and it took out time too for anybody and everybody that was willing to grow along spiritual lines. And that's what Bill Wilson and Dr. Bob did in the beginning. And so and because my husband was telling me, I'm not an alcoholic. I said, but you drank and used right along with me. Oh, yeah. You didn't cross over that line of addiction and affliction like I did, but you still alcoholic. He said, I don't have to work those steps. I said, if you're going to be on the same page with me, you're going to have to do something. You're going to have to do something here. Because I'm crossing over from the world of cause and effect. Because I drank, here's the effect, the hotbed of mental health. So you're going to have to do something. And so anyway, And so like for years, he just, I'm not an alcoholic. I don't have to work those steps. I said, baby, right here it says a design for living. And it's for anybody and everybody that's willing to grow along spiritual lines. And then about 4 or 5 years ago, when he realized that it was, I said, design for living, baby. 60,000 miles. That's a design for living. We've been carrying this message now this past year for 60,000 miles around this nation, around the world. That's a design for living. Then all of a sudden I heard that pop. You ever hear about that pop? That pop sound? When that head is popping out that butt. There's no way we could be running around the world at 60,000 miles around the nation, you know, if it wasn't for God's grace, 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 and his design for living for our life. That's the last I heard out of him. So I said to him, But he did say to me the first week I came home from treatment, he said, whatever you're doing, he said, you're changing so much. Whatever you're doing, Cole, just don't leave me behind. And I said to him then, well, here are the steps we took. So anyway, you guys, I'm just grateful that he jumped on board and started living the steps. And, you know, he has his program, just like you said, he has his program, I have mine. But we're in unity. Mm-hmm. Personal recovery, you know, depends on AA unity. And so like, hey, you guys, we're in unity. You know, being a motor coach for the last since December 1st. Like I shared the other day, if you ever want to check out the status of a relationship, get your butt in a motorhome. We don't argue today. What we have today is intense moments of fellowship. Hey, you know, we've been married now 32 years, over 32 years now. And there's 3 stages of marriage: lust, rust, and dust. So he said, "Oh, baby, we in the second stage. I said, let me tell you something. You don't have 6 heart attacks. I said, if you have another heart attack, it's gonna be dust. I said, I can't believe this. I said, I get sober and clean, and you have all these heart attacks. What's up with this, God? What's up with this, Curtis? 6 massive heart attacks, you guys. But I tell you what, one thing about them heart attacks, I found out one thing. He's my husband, he's my spouse, he's my lover, he's my best friend. But he's not my source and he's not my supply. That's right. That was the experience that I received as a result. He's my best friend. Can you imagine having your mate as your best friend? So anyway, I want to talk about my throat. I have some water in my purse. And I just want to talk about some of the things that we have done and achieved. And I'm not bragging. Somebody said, and I believe this too. I believe this. He said, humility would be so popular if you could brag about things and stuff and things that you've done or you have. But you can't brag. If you have humility, you can't brag about that. Humility prepares us for the realization of God's will and the benefits that we receive by letting go of self-will. Humility is seeing the great reality as it really is and acting appropriately. And I'm just so grateful that I found the solution. I said, okay, what do you want us to do? And I want to do more than just A&A. And that came 3 years ago. I want to do more. I've been saying that ever since I've been sober, though. I want to do more than just A&A, because you said it's for everybody that's willing to grow along spiritual lines. But anyway, you got to watch what you pray for. About 5 years ago, I said, God, I really want to be a grandma, but I don't want to wait too late. You get too old, you can't pick them grandkids up. And I said, I'm almost 60 years old, and I want to be a grandma. Oh, so now you know my age. Anyway, but that's right. Oh, I can't believe it. Anyway, I said, well, I want to be a grandma. I really do. And then all of a sudden, I said, but she must only have one. She must get married first, please, Lord. First things first. All of a sudden, she calls me up out of the blue. Mama, I'm pregnant. I passed out. And I got up, brushed off. She said, Mama, I'm pregnant by a white man. I passed out again. I passed out again. So I went in the bedroom. I said to my husband, well, guess who's coming to dinner?
Oh my God. She's too much. I love it.
I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. And so anyway, you guys. And then I got a moment of clarity. And, you know, people are like, what do you mean God speaks to you? Well, the disease spoke to me. I have a picture here. That, when I was 90 pounds, looked like a toothpick with lips. The disease spoke to me. And so so why can't God speak to me if I have a conscious contact? So also he speaks to me and say, tell your daddy and your mama to get saved. I said, God, I can't tell them people to get saved. I said, And I can't do that. You know, they think they saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Ghost, got a mind to run on and see what the end gonna be. I can't, no, Lord, please don't tell me to tell them to get saved, please. Then a month later, tell your mom and your dad to get saved. You guys, okay, I'm like this, I'm obedient for the most part. I picked up that phone. I said, Dad, I'm just going to tell you like this. God told me to tell you. I'm not a God told me to tell you person, but God told me to tell you and Mama to get saved. He said to me, I dare you say something like that to me. I've been a preacher ever since you was 5 years old. You going to tell me to get saved? I said, Dad, you're a great pretender and not a great contender, okay? I said, right now, if you got arrested for being saved and you go to the court of law, you know, guess what? They will drop all charges. Not guilty. We can't find no evidence. You get saved. He was upset with that. I said, I'm only telling you what God told me to tell you, Dad. 2 months after I shared that with him, there he was in Georgia. And he was singing this song. And 340 people, and he was in the pulpit with a microphone, dressed up in a white suit, and caught on camera. And he was singing this song, I want to think of his goodness, what he's done for me, died on Calvary to set me free. I'm saved. And he dropped dead behind the podium. Dropped dead, just like that. And here I was in an AA meeting, and I was the first one that got the news, because I was the only one that had a relationship with him in that Jerry Springer family. And because when I say Jerry Springer, just that they didn't fight like this, but they swung with the tongue. Mm-hmm. Black belt in tongue fu. And, so and I'm sitting here in this AA meeting in Florida, where was that? Claremont, and I'm talking about 5 minutes. The topic was death. How do you deal with death and not drink? Death of a loved one. I said, well, I waited a certain time too. I waited until the basket was passed. I didn't want to be sharing with no basket being passed. Y'all got to hear what I got to say, you know. And I was sharing about death is not a foe that we have to fight. Now he's dead on the floor. He's gone. I didn't know it. I said, death is a fact that we all have to face. No one gets out of life without dying. Statistics tells me that 1 out of 1 die. Woody Allen said that he's not fearful of dying. He just don't want to be around when it happens. And Dustin Hoffman says, quote, what he wants written on his epitaph is, quote, I knew this would happen. And I said, so when it's time for me to go, y'all, when it's time for me to go, my he's gone, you guys, he's on the floor. I didn't know it. But I'm talking all this happy clappy stuff because I'm in acceptance of the unacceptable. And I said, so when it's time for me to go, I'm going to take these principles and I'm going to another place and I'm going to increase the value on what I have learned. And what I want written on my epitaph is that Norma Jean, she lived, she loved, she laughed, and she left. Hello and a goodbye, no regrets. No regrets. And when it's time for me to go, I want to drop dead behind a podium. Not knowing that 10 minutes before, he had just dropped dead behind a podium. It's called synchronicity. Because I was in unity with my daddy. So, anyway, 5 days after my dad dropped dead, 2 weeks before time, I was gifted a milk chocolate, vanilla fudge, Oreo cookie, caramel cream, grandbaby boy, Dallas Xavier. Couldn't you take that picture? He's so cute, the cutest thing. And then, and then we went to had this big old funeral, you guys, up in Connecticut. And guess what happened? And you know, even Congressman Himes showed up. Yes, at my daddy's funeral. 800 people showed up at his funeral. And guess who God had his hand on me, you know? And I broke off some recovery from all those people, 12-step program I presented to him. And I said my daddy used to follow me around all throughout the state of Florida. He used to follow me around because he believed in me. Took the last 2 years though, you guys, that's when he started believing in me. So I'm just grateful to say, you guys. And then, also now, Dallas Xavier, my grandson, and here's his daddy. We're going to have another one. I looked at him, I said, no, you're not. He said, yes, we are. I said, no, you're not. My Al-Anon program fell off the wagon. No, you're not. He said, yes, we are, and you're going to stay out of it. You almost hit me. You're going to stay out of it. I said, who do you think he is? And I walked away. I went straight to the throne before I called anybody on the telephone. I said, dear God, I can't believe this. I'm going to need some help. He think he going to produce another milk chocolate. No, I can't take it. No, no, they need to get married. And so, anyway, I need some help, Lord. Please give me a supernatural muzzle on my tongue and lips. I need a supernatural muzzle. Please help me. Help me. And for 2 years, I didn't say a word. I didn't say a word because I prayed. I asked for help. I had to learn to stay in my lane. Stay in my lane. Y'all want some healthy, wholesome relationships? Stay in your lane. And then guess what? He married my daughter 2 years ago. And guess what? Another milk chocolate, Oreo cookie, caramel cream. Name is Jackson. And he was born just a year ago. Because I stayed in my lane. You guys, stayed in my lane. So anyway, you guys, I'm just so grateful I've learned to just live these steps and to be an expression of God's love and His way and His awesome power. These are the biggest steps I've seen on the walls of all the days. I love it. I feel like I can just because that's what I did. I took a plunge through the spiritual birth of recovery. Step 1, 2, and 3. Game changer in my spirit. Game changer. The Holy Spirit stepped inside me. All right? First dimension. 4, 5, 6, and 7. Game changer in my soul. My mind, my will, my emotions, my intellect, and my imagination. My logic and my reason. Game changer. The psychic change. Supernatural enema of the head. Well, I needed a rotor-rooter of the head. And, And then 8, 9, game changer. In the human race, I'm no longer apart from, I'm a part of the human race. Yes. And then 10, 11, and 12, game changer. Game changer. Not just in the world, but in the universe, I'm a game changer. Let me tell you what a game changer I am now. Because of a relationship with God. That's all this is. This is nothing but a mystery. It's a mystery. A mystery is a secret unknown to the human mind. It's spiritual. You know, I think about 25 years ago, moral midget, spiritual dwarf, and a mental pygmy. Insanity demanded way more than what I was willing to pay. So now today, you know, I ain't perfect by no means. He'll be more than glad to tell you that. But I tell you what, I'm no longer where the disease left me. 25 years ago, I crossed over into another world. I've crossed over into the world of the spirit, into the fourth dimension, into the supernatural. Oh, I had one lady walk up to me and say, hey, you know, Norma Jean, we don't use that word here in Florida, recovered. Where do you get that from? And I'm trying to be nice. I composed myself. I said, what book is she reading out of?
Right.
What book? You know what I'm saying? Are we reading out the same book? Anyway, I don't appreciate it at all. I got 43 years on this program. I said, well, I'm not here to argue about my experience. I ain't telling her this, but I said, but a person with an experience should never be at the mercy to a person with an argument. Because my truth is my reality, which has no room for debate. A person that said it can't be done should never distract the person that's doing it. Hello. I've been doing it. So I said to her, real nice. I said, I'm not going to argue with you about my experience. It seems like somebody want to yelp in my face. Buzz, I call it to myself, buzzard breath. I grab my book. I always grab my book. This is the only truth I have, you guys. One thing about truth. It needs no defense. Truth stands all by itself. And truth defines reality. And truth is way more powerful than a matter of fact. And truth will always outweigh a lie. Truth is God, and God is truth. So I said to her, I'll put it like this. I said, I'm not here to argue about my experience. That was all nice. I said, you know, see, in the world over here of cause and effect, you have two voices. Them two voices came down off that tree. Knowledge of good and evil. I'm right, you're wrong. I'm up today but down tomorrow. Money in my pocket today but broke tomorrow. Love you today and hate you tomorrow. You know, we all been through those experiences. And I said, I'm not here to argue about those two voices. I'm right, you're wrong. You're right, I'm wrong, or whatever. I said, you know what I've done? I said, in the world, this is the world of cause and effect. The sweat of the brow, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, dog eat dog world, trying to keep up with the Joneses. I'm over here in the world of the spirit. You know? And I said, but I tell you what. I said, all I did was basically, I started living the steps, and I became at one with God our Father, 1, 2, and 3. And then I became at one with myself. Step 4, 5, 6, and 7. Personality change sufficient to recover. I became at one with me. That girl that, you know, my best friend for 12 years, nowhere in the world, her mama, and her grandmama, nowhere in the world they could talk me into drinking and use or anything else that they offend this God of my understanding today. See, I got a relationship today with the power of the universe. I have self-esteem, self-worth. I have integrity. I'm recovered. For me to say I'm recovered, I got to have some integrity. Hello. I said, I'm in one with myself. I told her that. And then I'm in one with the human race. I'm no longer apart from, I'm a part of the human race. Because the relationships I have with others is a mirror image of the relationship that I have with myself. If I'm bothered with you, that's because I'm bothered with myself. When it comes to character defects, if I spot it, I got it. Hello. The person that I see is the person that I be. I don't take your inventory today. What I take today is a loving appraisal. There you go again.
I'm writing that down.
I got a CD for you.
Thank you. Now you tell me.
That's just where it is. I'm at one with the human race. I see no race today. I see no color, no creed, no nationality, no gender. Over here ain't no gender. Ain't no such thing as gender. Not in the world of the spirit. Not in the fourth dimension, not in the kingdom of God. Anyway, so by the time I finished with her, it was so quiet you could hear a rat pee on cut. Anyway, I'm so grateful. So I asked God 2 years ago. I said, Lord, 3 years ago. I said, Lord, I want to do more. You said, now you told me right here too, Bobby and Bill, First 100, my sponsors. You told me that's for anybody, everybody that's willing to grow along spiritual lines. And you told me right here too, this is a design for living. So this could really help the world, not just alcoholics, the world. Watch what you pray for. Okay, so like I said, anything I say, you guys, is because I'm in the will. It's because I'm in the will of God. It's because of God's grace. Grace. GRACE, God's riches at Christ's expense. Okay, all right. So he kicked me on the ships. Oh, how we got that money, I'll never forget. In Las Vegas, somebody, can you imagine in a parking lot? Only got a few minutes. In a parking lot, an RV parking lot. Now I just prayed. I prayed a prayer. God, I need some money. I want to get on the cruise. Because right now I'm looking at right now, money's funny, change is strange, credit I can't get it. I'm tired of being in a motorhome. I need a break from the motorhome, carrying the message. And then 10 minutes after I shared, I'm getting ready now to go speak in the Las Vegas meeting. Then, bam! Something hit that 43-foot diesel pusher, $315,000 motor coach. Something hit my motorhome out, and I'm crying. God, somebody hit us! Somebody hit us! Somebody hit us! And I ran out looking like buckwheat. You should see. And so this lady, she came up on me, and then people standing out. I mean, you don't get hit in the RV parking lot. No, it's unheard of. He should have gave up his keys 2 or 3 years ago. That's what it was. And so, anyway, I looked at the motorhome, and I'm sorry, it was an accident. It was an accident. She was backing up because I'm looking all wild and crazy. She said it was an accident. I said, it's okay. It's okay. You're not upset? I said, I'm sorry. I ain't going there. I have to go speak in a couple hours. She said, we have insurance. I said, I'm not upset. I'm not exaggerating. 2 days later, I had a check. He came out there, that adjuster, he came out there, the insurance guy, he came out there, how much, he had nerve to ask me, how much you think this is worth? I said, it's your job to tell me how much damage is on my motor coach with these 2 bathrooms. I throw that in. These 2 bathrooms. He said, okay, give me about 15 minutes. And he came back with a check way beyond my wildest dreams. I guess I was on that cruise within 2 weeks. And when I got on that cruise, he didn't want to go with me. No. And I took a girl that looked just like my twin. She was like my sister. And anyway, we were just, but we had a great time, but when I got on that cruise, I knew when I walked up that cruise, I knew then we had a new call. So we've been going on the cruises, and as of December 1st, up until 2 weeks from tomorrow, there'll be 11 cruises in a period of 9 months around the world. Bora Bora, Papeete, Moray, and I accidentally fell off into, it was an accident, Lima, I tell you, nothing's an accident. I fell off into the BIBLE, the basic instruction before leaving Earth study. And they asked, they was talking around, well, who would like to share? I looked around, I was sitting in the back, with a microphone. There's not a mic that I don't like. I said, okay, yeah. I started sharing. And then before you know it, they was clapping. Oh, I was the only one that got a clap too. And then after the meeting, he came with the head honcho. Oh, I just think you're great. Oh God, you have been anointed. I said, oh, we want you to come back to our group and speak. Would you please come back to our group? I said to him, I don't think so. I told him straight up, no, I don't think so. The first thing came to my mind, well, you ain't gonna judge me, criticize me, and do, oh no, I don't think so, church folks. Because see, in my family, I was an outcast troublemaker. I was the white sheep in the family. Because because I didn't go to church. Because the church folks always judging me and condemning me, in my mind. Okay, you guys, I'm only sharing my experience, okay? I'm not here to impose. I'm here just to expose, okay? Okay, so anyway, he said, I told him straight up, I said, no, I don't think I can do that. I'm not, no, I ain't ready for y'all. No. And then I went back to my cabin. I was sitting out on the balcony, and then the Spirit said, you never said no to a request. Never. And I start hunting him down. I start hunting him down with my big boy. Where is he? He got 3,000 or 4,000 people. Where is he? So anyway, 2 days later,
No.
Okay. 2 days later, guess what? I ran into him. I said, okay, I'll speak for you. I'll speak for the group. And you know what he said to me? He said, if you're going to speak for our group, I tell you now straight up, you have to bring scripture with those steps. That's what he said to me. Now you won't ask me to speak now. Now you're going to tell me how to say it. You're going to tell me what to bring with the steps. I said, okay, no problem. So I got, I prepared myself for it. So 2 days later, there I was. So I went up one side of that group, I came down the other. The steps and scriptures. I presented the program as a design for living. So, and then he said, we want you to come back. We got to come back. He asked me to come back again to speak again. So I'm just grateful to be here to share, you guys. I found, I got my room. This is home. A&A is home. Always will be home. But I got that was something I wanted to do. Week 1, I wanted to step outside. They said, for everybody, this program, you hear people say it all the time, this program could just help the world. It could, to do so much for people to change in their attitudes and their behaviors, the change about the perception about God and His universe and about people. What so much this program can do on the outside of the rooms of AA. Well, anyway, because of my devotion, God gave me a great big old promotion on the 7 Seas ocean. That's always in motion. Always in motion. And then we're going on one of those big boys too this time, 2 weeks from now. And guess what? Did y'all see that big ship that was on fire last week or this past week? Big bellows of smoke too coming out. I said, Lord, look at this is our ship that we supposed to be going on. This was last week. I can't believe this. I said, all these ships out there in the ocean, why is my ship on fire? Why? Why, Lord, why? And then anyway, you guys, but guess what? One lady came, she said, we had to go to the mustard station, and I couldn't understand why we had to go to the mustard station. I didn't even smell no smoke. You got one of those big boys, you got 6,000, 7,000 people, 8,000 people on the ship. Yeah, anyway, they contained it. And they brought that ship in on time too. It was 30 minutes earlier into what, Port Orange? Port Orange. So anyway, I hope they got that problem fixed. I'll be the first one on 2 weeks from now. I'll be the first one on that ship 2 weeks from tomorrow. So I'm just grateful to be here, you guys. So I get to be a player. I go to the 12-step meeting, and I go to the BIB, the Bible study meeting, and one joker had the nerve to walk up to me and say, and I could tell he had horns on top of his head, pitchfork in his hand, and I could see that curly tail grew out of his butt. So he said to me, I'm a minister. I said, yep. How nice. He said, program don't work. God as we understood him, as we understand, the Antichrist, and the fellowship is stuck. Now horns don't come up on top of my head, pitchfork in my hand. But I can take, hey, we cease fighting, what the big book says. Cease fighting anybody, anything, including alcohol. So I said, now before I got on the ship now, the Spirit spoke to me and said, do not take that ugly 90-pound nightmare on the street, toothpick or lip picture on that ship, and do not show it to them church folks. I said, why not, God? I've been showing the AAers. He said, they understand.
That's right.
Church folks will not understand,
That's right.
okay?
That's right.
He said, matter of fact, you'll lose the message. Oh, no, I'm sorry. He said, the message will be lost. He said, of Desire for Living, if you show them that picture, do not show them that picture. So, but when that man told me the program don't work and the fellowship is stuck, I said, Lord, forgive me. And I dug in my purse. I pulled out that ugly picture. Look at him, he's digging in it. And I showed that man that picture. I said, you gonna tell me the program don't work? And he took one look at it, his eyes bulged, and he started huffing and puffing. Then well, maybe you can help them. Now you're gonna typecast me. Maybe you just can help them. But you know what I said to him? Having had a spiritual awakening, as a result of all the steps, not only will I be able to help my fellowship, I said, but the 12 steps, the fourth dimension, the kingdom of God is within me. But guess what? I can help you too. I walked away. I strutted away. I sure did. I can help you too. The kingdom of God, church folks. The king, that's JC's message. That was his message. Here's the keys to the kingdom. He said, seek ye first. God couldn't and would if he sought. But anyway, I'm grateful to be here. And I'll end on this last note. Okay, as a result of living on 12 of the steps, what I have today is power, purpose, promises, provision, protection, passion, presence, peace, perseverance, persistence, persona, position, possession, potential, and permanent recovery. Now I just peed 15 times. Happy Georgia Day for
Bless you, baby.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Norma Jean, for an awesome story. We passed the baskets, kicked with the 7th tradition, and I have asked Yuri to read the traditions.
I'm Yuri, and I'm an alcoholic.
Hey, Yuri.
12 traditions. 1, our common welfare should come first. Personal recovery depends upon AA unity. 2, for our group purpose, there is but one ultimate authority, a loving God, as he may express himself in our group conscience. Our leaders are but trusted servants, they do not govern. 3, the only requirement for AA membership is a desire to stop drinking. 4, each group should be autonomous except in matters affecting other groups or AA as a whole. 5, each group has the one primary purpose, to carry its message to the alcoholic who still suffers. 6, an AA group ought never endorse, finance, or lend the AA name to any related facility or outside enterprise, lest problems of money, property, and prestige divert us from our primary purpose. 7, every AA group ought to be fully self-supporting, declining outside contribution. 8, Alcoholics Anonymous should remain forever non-professional, but our service centers may employ special workers. 9, AA as such ought never be organized, but we may create service boards or committees directly responsible to those they serve. 10. Alcoholics Anonymous has no opinion on outside issues, hence the AA name ought never be drawn into public controversy. 11. Our public relations policy is based on attraction rather than promotion. We need always maintain personal anonymity at the level of press, radio, and films. 12. Anonymity is the spiritual foundation of all of the principles and more personality.
Thank you, Yuri. Ken's volunteer.